Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recording projects ever. And this one I've talked about before, but it really belongs in this series. It's Leonard Slatkin's The American Collection. Now, some of you may say, oh, well, it wasn't exactly a project, because it's not labeled Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, or something like that. Well, it was a project. It was a project to do a lot of American music, and then they put it in a box, except for some unbelievably stupid reason that makes no sense to me at all. They left out the Barber stuff, which is just incomprehensible. We talked about that back when this first came out. It's probably not even available anymore. So, but the reason this is such a great collection isn't just the range of repertoire and what's in it. It's that the performances were so great. Because normally when you're doing offbeat repertoire, you get a second tier or third tier orchestra and a lesser named conductor, and the performances are kind of rough and ready, and you're happy because you have no choices. Well, here we had the best, plain and simple. Every single performance in here of everything could be a reference recording, just about. Almost everyone. Yeah, I can't think of. Yeah, yes, there isn't anything that isn't really one of the best things ever done, among the best things ever done in that respective area of the repertoire. So, that's that. Greatness speaks for itself, as we say. It's its own justification. Now, I know some of you are going to say, because some of you have already mentioned this, things like the Naxos American Classics series. That's an entirely different kettle of beans. And for me, the answer for the Naxos thing is not just the American series, because there's the Naxos Spanish series, the Japanese series, all of that stuff. Those series on Naxos. I'm going to do a big Naxos-a-thon in this series. Naxos-a-thon, yes, in this series. I promise you. I have to assemble it. It's going to take me a little time because I've got to find everything and go to the overflow room. And I'll do a top 10 or 20 or something like that from all of those series, because the Naxos, whatever they call them, it's amazing. It's just amazing, and it's ongoing. That's the other thing. I like to do things that have been completed. But really, the Naxos series are open-ended. There's no way they can be complete, because they can just keep going basically forever. And so that's also another issue. So I have to do a special. And I will figure out how to do that special in due course. And then we'll take it from there. So don't worry. It's coming. I promise you it's coming. In the meantime, we have this absolutely stupendous 11 CD. It's a 13 CD, pardon me. 11 plus 2 CD of things. And I'm going to tell you what's on them. And then we will just let it go at that. I think makes perfect sense. So here we go. First, the other thing that's nice about this is the range of music available. Leroy Anderson. Now, of course, Slatkin also did a complete Anderson edition on Naxos, which we could be talking about. But he's kind of a specialist in this music, and he does it so fabulously well. And this is an amazing, amazing disc, this RCA one, that has 25 discs on it. 25 discs. 25 tracks. That's a lot of Leroy Anderson. It's great stuff. And you get the typewriter, of course. Chugga, 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 ding, zip. It's just marvelous. So we get that. Then we've got, let's see, Bernstein's Songfest, coupled to Varèse Arcana. Isn't that interesting? I don't think Arcana was on the original disc, but they put it on there, which is great. It is a piece of American music. It's wonderful to have. Songfest also. You see, it's not just another Bernstein disc with the usual culprits like, the Candide Overture and West Side Story symphonic dances. Songfest is a late masterpiece. It's a great, great work. The only reason it's not performed more is because I think it takes 6 singers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 singers. That's a lot of singers, and it's only been recorded a couple of times, and I think 3 or 4 times. And this is just a marvelous performance, and it's good that it was rescued, because the original LP was only in print for about 18 seconds or something like that. It was crazy. So then we have, let's see, Copeland, the Organ Symphony with an organ. Simon Preston playing the organ, no less. The Dance Symphony, the Short Symphony, and the Orchestral Variations. This is all the early sort of avant-garde-ish Copeland. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful disc. My goodness. There's another really good, Copeland the Modernist was a Michael Tilson Thomas RCA thing too. It's interesting actually because in those days Tilson Thomas's stuff was also on RCA, and this is on RCA. This is just so good. You could mix them and trade them. They had different repertoire, by the way, or slightly different repertoire. And then we've got more Copeland, music for films. This is one of my favorite records in the history of anything. It's incredible. It's got the best Red Pony suite you've ever heard in your life. I mean, St. Louis kind of, owned the Red Pony suite because it was one of its earliest or first recordings, I think, with Andre Previn, I think, recorded it. And then we've got Our Town, the Heiress suite, music for movies, and Prairie Journal, which is music for radio, actually. Just amazing stuff. Oh, the Red Pony suite is so great. And it makes such a fabulous ringtone. My goodness, I have it on my phone, like different bits of it. Really terrific. And then we had another Copeland disc, the Third Symphony and Music for a Great City, which is the soundtrack, I think, from Something Wild, or parts of it reimagined. Music for a Great City is an amazing score, and it's big. It's a 4-movement extravaganza. Let's see, if it's at 14 plus 10, it's 26 minutes. The movements are Skyline, Night Thoughts, Subway Jam, and Toward the Bridge. Really, really cool. And this is a great recording of the Third Symphony, which Slatkin remade for Naxos with the original ending, thereby proving once and for all that when most composers revise things, unless it's Hindemith's Cardiac, it's all for the best. So there you go. Or Shostakovich's Lady Macbeth. But those were pressure revisions, not voluntary revisions. All right, then we have John Corigliano. We have his Of Rage and Remembrance, which is a chaconne based on Symphony No. 1, Movement 3. And then we get Symphony No. 1, all of Symphony No. 1. This is another brilliant disc with the National Symphony Orchestra. Powerful, passionate music. This was written, in the wake of the initial AIDS epidemic, when Corigliano and all of us had lost, many, 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 many friends and people we cared about deeply. And Corigliano wrote this piece, a deeply moving, brilliant piece, brilliant, anger-filled, exciting work. Really tremendous. And then we have the other Corigliano disc, Tournaments, Fantasy on Ostinato. The ostinato is the rhythm from the second movement of Beethoven's Seventh. It was originally a piano work written for competition purposes that he orchestrated it. And he's such a brilliant orchestrator. I'm glad he did. And then Elegy, and then his piano concerto with Barry Douglas, which is just huge gobs of fun. Really cool stuff. So you're going from Leroy Anderson to Corigliano to Varèse. I mean, get it? It's just so much fun. It's so cool. Charles Ives. Oh, this is such a great Ives disc. 3 Places in New England. March 3 on the air, Old Kentucky Home. The Unanswered Question. Central Park of the Dark. Fugue in 4 keys on the Shining Shore. And the Third Symphony. See, the thing about Slatkin is that he's one of the few conductors out there who can put together a brilliant concert program. I have to move, it's like a speck there. There we go. His concert programs are absolutely phenomenal, and his discs are often equally phenomenally well put together in terms of repertoire. An amazing mix of the usual stuff plus things that don't get recorded or that we haven't heard or don't see frequently. Really it's just such musical competence. I love competence. It's so rare in this business, and he's so good. And then we've got, the American Collection. We've got William Schuman, the American Festival Overture, the New England Triptych, which is one of his better pieces too, because it's not like dry and academic, and the Charles Ives Variations on America, which were arranged by Schumann for these forces. It's a hilarious piece, and William Schumann's own 10th Symphony, American Muse, which I can certainly do without, but it does end with a finale that goes presto possibile, and it's very exciting. I'm not, as you know, a William Schumann fan when it comes to his symphonic achievement, but here it is. And then we've got, this great Walter Piston disc, The Incredible Flutist, 3 New England Sketches, and the best ever performance of the Sixth Symphony since Charles Munch's premiere. And that's saying a lot. And the Sixth is just a masterpiece, great, glorious example of American neoclassicism at its very, very best. I used the finale as my sign-on music when I had a radio show at WJHU when I was at university in the 80s. Da, da, cha, 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 cha. It's also a great ringtone, by the way. Yes, think about it. Then we've got Schwantner, Joseph Schwantner. Oh, he's a good composer, too. We don't hear too much of him lately. There was that Non-Such disc that had stuff of his on it, and that was kind of it. And it was kind of pretty popular for a while. It was percussion concerto and whatnot. So we've got Velocities. It's a moto perpetuo for solo marimba and the concerto for percussion and orchestra. Oh, it's on here. This is the world premiere recording. It's with Evelyn Glennie, of course, because she is your percussionist of choice. And New Morning for the World, Daybreak of Freedom. That was the other thing, with Vernon Jordan narrating. That was fun. And then we have, oh, there are two more. I'm so excited. The American Collection. This is like all kinds of little American tchotchkes. It's, little short bits. It begins with the Copeland Fanfare for the Common Man and Morton Gould's American Salute. And then you've got Sousa and Schuman and Ives, Variations on America. Some things taken from other things. And let's see, more Morton Gould, Victor Herbert's March of the Toys, Joan Tower, Fanfare for the Uncommon Woman, Copeland's Hoedown from Rodeo, a couple bits of Virgil Thompson's Prowl That Broke the Plains, On the Trail from the Grand Canyon Suite, and other things like that. Let's just say you've got America the Beautiful, some patriotic oogies, and it ends with the Star-Spangled Banner. Okay, it's one of those. It's like one of those English collections called Land of Hope and Glory. It's like that. And more of the American collection. American Portraits. Okay, you got the Fanfare for the Common Man. Again, in case you forgot it from the last one. Schumann's Be Glad That America from the New England Triptych. Dudley Buck's Festival Overture on the American National Air, the Star-Spangled Banner. That is fun. E. Bagley's National Emblem March. See, even here there's some cool things. Virgil Thompson's Fugue and Chorale on Yankee Doodle. Victor Herbert's American Fantasia, one of his few orchestral pieces. Lots of fun. John Philip Sousa, El Capitan. William Steffi's The Battle Hymn of the Republic. Richard Hayman's Servicemen on Parade. And finally, the Lincoln Portrait, narrated by General H. Norman Schwarzkopf. No relation to Elizabeth. He's much less affected than she is, believe you me. So, there you go. It's the American collection. And, even in the potboiler, discs of things, there's like interesting repertoire. Slatkin can't help but be interesting. And the interesting thing about him is that he's interesting when he's interesting in interestingly musical ways. So you get it? He's interesting. And this is just a tremendous box. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.